What is the problem of Sudan? Many people are asking, what exactly is happening in Sudan? Why are they fighting each other? Sudan was once known as the food basket of Africa, a land blessed with the Nile River's waters, home to the world's largest agricultural project, the Gezira Scheme. It was among the top 3 gold-producing countries and ranked 5th in livestock. But today, that same nation is a picture of hunger, famine, civil war, and destruction. According to the United Nations, over 10 million Sudanese are facing severe food shortages and famine. The question is, how did a country so rich in natural resources descend into chaos and bloodshed? The background. Sudan's current civil war began in April 2023, when 2 powerful military forces turned their guns on each other. The Sudanese Armed Forces, SAF, the Regular Army, and the Rapid Support Forces, RSF, also known as the Janjaweed Militia. This conflict is essentially a struggle for power, military supremacy, and control of Sudan's political and economic resources. The background goes back to 2019, when public protests toppled President Omar al-Bashir's 30-year rule. An interim military-civilian government was formed, but soon power struggles emerged between the army and the RSF. Disagreements between Army Chief General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan and RSF leader General Mohammed Hamdan Dagalo, Hemeti, over the integration of forces and future governance, pushed the country towards civil war. Initially, the fighting was limited to Khartoum and nearby areas, but it quickly spread across the country, particularly to the western region of Darfur, where it took on an ethnic dimension. The city of al-Fashir, once a symbol of peace, now lies in ruins. How the RSF emerged. The RSF was not originally part of the army. It began as a tribal militia. In 2019, when anti-Bashir protests erupted, the president sought its help to protect his rule, granting it semi-official status and appointing Hemeti as its commander. When Bashir was overthrown in April 2019, General al-Burhan and other military officers took power, forming a transitional military council. The public accepted it temporarily, but soon demanded civilian rule. Nationwide protests led to the creation of the Forces of Freedom and Change, FFC coalition, which insisted on a civilian government. Under internal pressure and international mediation, the Army and FFC agreed in August 2019 to form a joint transitional government, with Abdallah Hamdok as Prime Minister and General al-Burhan as Army Chief. Sudan began restoring its international ties, especially with the United States, and was even removed from the terrorism list. However, in October 2021, al-Burhan staged a military coup, dissolved the civilian government, and placed PM Hamdok under house arrest. The army regained full control, laying the groundwork for today's war. During this interim period, the RSF had grown into a formidable power. Tensions between the army and RSF over integration into a single military structure eventually exploded into full-scale war in April 2023. Khartoum was devastated, and al-Fashir became the site of horrific massacres. More than 10 million people were displaced, and starvation spread widely. Foreign interference and interests. Sudan's war is not merely an internal struggle. It has become a battleground for regional and global powers because of its strategic location at the mouth of the Red Sea, a vital trade route linking the Middle East, Africa, and Europe. United Arab Emirates, UAE, allegedly supports the RSF, supplying arms and funding in exchange for access to Sudan's gold mines, farmlands, and ports. The Sudanese government has even filed a case against the UAE at the International Court. Egypt backs the Sudanese army due to concerns over control of Nile River waters. Saudi Arabia appears to mediate but seeks a Sudanese leadership favorable to Riyadh's influence. Russia aims to establish a naval base on the Red Sea and has long been involved in Sudan's gold trade through the Wagner Group. United States and Israel. Washington wants to prevent Sudan from aligning with Russia or China, while Israel, which normalized ties with Sudan after Bashir's fall, views it as a potential ally against Iranian influence in the Red Sea. Israeli intelligence has reportedly contacted RSF leaders directly to influence the conflict through Cairo. Possible division of the country. Analysts warn that Sudan could split into 2 or 3 parts if the war continues, north and east, including Port Sudan, controlled by the regular army. West, Darfur and Al-Fashir, under RSF control. Eastern coastal areas, possibly placed under international supervision. Sudan, remember, has already been divided once, when South Sudan seceded in 2011. The humanitarian catastrophe. Over 12,000 people killed, around 14 million displaced, hospitals destroyed, food supply cut, and clean water scarce. Cities like Al-Fashir, Nyala, and Al-Ganina show scenes of unimaginable human suffering. The people, not the generals, are paying the price for this war over gold, oil, and power. From Africa's future to a land of despair. There was a time when Sudan was called Africa's future, a country with fertile lands, rich resources, and the blessing of the Nile. Now fields once green are burned to ash. The fragrance of crops has been replaced by the stench of gunpowder. Where children once played under palm trees, now echo the cries of grieving mothers. Conclusion. The real fuel of this war is the blood of the poor. As the Holy Quran says, when it is said to them, "Do not cause corruption on the earth," they say, "We are only reformers." Surah Al-Baqarah 11. This verse mirrors Sudan today. Every faction claims to fight for peace, yet leaves only blood and ruin behind. To stay tuned with me, please like and subscribe my channel.